Before running for Congress in 2020, Owens had a storybook career. A high school football standout, Owens attended the University of Miami, where he was an All-American defensive back. After college, Owens played 10 seasons in the NFL and made history when he won Super Bowl 15 with the Raiders. So today, I'm talking with him about how a sports professional like himself goes congressional.
Talk to me like I'm an idiot.
And maybe he can give me a few pointers while we're at it.
My kids can throw a spiral, and I will admit I struggle. Now, I was always taught the laces. Is that right?
The laces is important.
Okay.
It's important for sure.
The first legal forward pass was thrown way back in 1906, thanks, in part, get this, to Teddy Roosevelt, who fought adamantly for the rule change while president, arguing it would make the game safer.
Here we go, look out.
And sure, my spiral definitely needs some work.
Yeah, see, why is it doing that?
But I caught it. That's the key.
But I bet Teddy never tossed the pigskin this close to the Capitol.
Mine looks like a duck.
Look at the point, if you can, as a receiver, is to be so focused and concentrated that you can see the point of the head there. You did that, and most times you'll catch the ball.
Into the bushes. Toe tap.
Well, at least I made the catch. Now let's chat before someone gets hurt.
I think they want you here.
Okay, one of those moments you don't forget.
Yeah, that's very cool.
All right, Congressman, let's start from the start. Can you remember the first time you played football competitively in any way, shape, or form?
I grew up during a time when we were going through a lot of transition in our country, the days of segregation. Things were beginning to change, but keep in mind the groundbreakers in terms of bringing us together has always been sports and military, because you're putting everything on the line. So my first team was actually one of 4 Black Americans to be part of this formerly all-white high school.
That school he's referring to was Tallahassee's own Rickards High School, where, during his sophomore year, Owens became one of the first African Americans allowed on the football team, let alone in the classroom, after Rickards officially desegregated in 1967.
So what was that like, right? Because obviously it's a time of significant turmoil in the country, right?
If you remember the story of Remember the Titans, it's kind of very similar to that. We had to get past the ideas that we were really not different, and sports obviously is a way to make that bridge.
Sports have no doubt helped break racial barriers. Jackie Robinson certainly did in '47. But 2 decades later, segregation in sports lingered. Ernie Davis made history when he became the first African-American Heisman winner in '61. But it wasn't until 1967, 3 years after the Civil Rights Act passed, that the SEC's first black football player, Nate Northington, took the field. Which is also the same year Owens became one of Rickards High's star players. And just 2 years later, when Owens committed to the University of Miami, he became just the 3rd black athlete to earn an athletic scholarship from the U.
Around my sophomore year, I had a coach who saw that I could be really good at a position that I wasn't really comfortable with, defensive back. He switched me to that position, and I was very depressed when they made the decision to change me.
Offense to defense, right?
But what we realized is that people see potential in us that we don't see in ourselves.
That potential became destiny. Switching to cornerback, Owens grabbed 8 career picks, cracking the top 10 most interceptions in Hurricane history, and earning first-team All-American honors. This led to being picked 13th overall in the 1973 NFL Draft.
The New York Jets on the first round select Burgess Owens, defensive back, Miami.
But you're drafted in the first round. I mean, 13th, right? Overall. I mean,
Yeah.
Is race still something that's being talked about? Is it like, what's that?
Things were beginning to change, but keep in mind, when I got to the NFL in 1973, there were still positions that blacks were not really chosen to play. Anything to do with leadership, whether it be a quarterback, free safety, centers, middle linebackers, those are the thinking positions.
The NFL first integrated in 1920 when Fritz Pollard made history as the first black quarterback and player. But by 1933, a gentleman's agreement banned African-American players from the league for over a decade. Integration slowly followed, but progress was slow. It wasn't until 1974 that a black quarterback won a playoff game. And not until 1988, 15 years after Owens was drafted, that Washington's own Doug Williams made history as the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
So the last thing we thought about were our differences. I looked to my right, my left, and I saw guys who were putting everything they could on the field. That's what a team comes down to, and that's what sports did, and that's what the NFL allowed me to do.